everyone, my name is Miss Megan. I'm one of the art teachers at Oak Grove Belmead Elementary School on South Side, and welcome to this virtual art lesson. So today we're going to be doing gesture drawing or figure drawing. So that is drawing a person from real life. So you are looking at the person in front of you and you are drawing it. It's a good technique that artists use to help them really see what they're looking at. So for example, if I wanted to draw this eraser, I wouldn't just use my imagination. I'd look at the eraser and figure out what shape it is and what color it is. So that's what drawing from observation means, and we're going to do some of that today. So your supplies, all you need is any kind of piece of paper and any kind of writing utensil. So whether that's copy paper from a printer, whether that's a pencil or a marker. If you have watercolors, I would definitely recommend, because gesture drawing is loose and fast and fun. You can also just use line paper. I'm probably going to be using, I have a big sketchbook. I like to work really big. And I'm going to be using markers, that way it shows up a little better on camera, but feel free to use whatever you have. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So one of the things that people get intimidated by when they're drawing people or thinking about drawing people is that it has to look exactly realistic. For example, this is a painting by Edouard Manet, and it looks pretty realistic, right? But not all figure art has to look like that. This is a great example right here. It's just broken down into simple shapes. The figure's not too detailed, there's not a lot going on other than the clothes. And if you look, you can break it down into simple shapes. We've got a circle for the head, kind of a square for the torso, some rectangles for the arms, and some rectangles for the legs. That's really all it is, just breaking it down into simple shapes. This is another good example by Miriam Shapiro, and this figure is even further broken down. You can actually see the shapes and the connecting parts in the joints. So can you guess what shape the head is? Circle. And then we've got some a little wonky, but they're kind of shaped like rectangles. Again, the torso or your body is again kind of like a square, and the legs are also rectangles. So it doesn't have to be super hard or scary, like realistic. Everything is broken down into simple shapes. So keep that in mind as we go through our figure drawing and gesture exercises. All right, so before we get started on drawing from observation, I'm going to quickly review how to break a human figure down or a person into basic shapes. So the head, so we're going to start with the head, and what shape is that? Circle, right. So we're going to go ahead and draw a quick circle. Remember, it's just quick and fast. It doesn't have to be perfect or anything. And then we're going to add our neck, so kind of like a rectangle shape. Then I was talking about earlier that what shape would a torso or a body be? Kind of a square or rectangle. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly add that in. And remember, we're just doing basic shapes. We're not trying to make it perfect. You can always erase and add later. Of course, I can't since I'm using marker, but if you're using pencil, you can do that. So then we're going to go ahead and add our arms. And what shape were our arms we were talking about earlier? Rectangles, right. So I'm going to go ahead and add part of a rectangle, and I'm going to stop, because this is where our arms bend, right? So our elbow. So I'm going to go ahead and just add another rectangle for the forearm. Then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on this side. And another skinny rectangle down here. So all this person's missing is their hands. So you can just go ahead and do a basic shape. It kind of looks like a bit of a rounded square. So I'll just do like that. Now, if you have a mannequin or something to draw from, like a toy that has moving parts, you can also bring that up. That might be helpful to look at as well. So then you're going to go ahead and do your legs. So I'm going to have my person standing a bit far apart. So I'm going to add, again, the rectangles. And then we have our knees. I'm tapping it, but you can't see with the table. Our knees also bend just like our elbows. They're called joints. So I'm going to go ahead and have it bend down just a little bit. Add another rectangle. And then finally you have your feet. So it can be, depending on what kind of shoe you might be wearing, it might be a different shape. But I'm going to go ahead and just do a similar thing with my hands, where it's a bit of a rounded square. And that's your basic person broken down into simple shapes. So again, all it is circle, rectangles, square. Let's call these squares too, since they're pretty much the same shape, just a little rounded. And then rectangles. Then if you want, you can go back and add some more details like the hair, the face, the clothes, etc. But I'm not going to worry about that right now since we're just doing gesture drawing and it's super quick and easy. Alright, so we've got our figure drawing station set up, got my supplies, and I'm using the timer on my phone, so I'm going to hit 45 seconds. I have my friend Junsaku, you want to wave, say hi, who's going to be standing on a chair giving us a pose. She's only going to hold it for 45 seconds and then we are going to switch poses. So let's go ahead and get started. Remember, you're just trying to do basic shapes. You're not trying to capture details, you're just trying to capture the movement of the person. So I'm going to go ahead and get my marker ready. This is a little bit difficult with one hand, but we're going to go ahead and start. All right, and hit start. And go ahead and do a pose. All right, so she's got her one hand up, so we have her elbow right there, another hand on her hip, one leg is bent, another is straight, so I'm gonna go ahead and quickly draw that. So while you're drawing, you wanna be looking at the model as you continue to draw, so I'm gonna quickly add her neck, and then one arm is bent, another arm is up in the air, and then I'm gonna add her torso real quick, and it's okay if it's messy. It's my first time, so it's not gonna be perfect. Add her hand right here. Her other hand is up, almost kind of touching the ceiling, so I'm gonna add that. Then we're gonna add her, oh, timer's already done. So I'm gonna just quickly finish that. Oops. Even though technically you are supposed to stop when the timer's done, but I'm just gonna quickly do this. And if you find that you need a little bit more time, you can definitely add that. But the goal is to do it quickly and fast. And I'm just gonna go ahead and add some more outlines so her arms look a bit more solid. And that is the first pose. Thank you, Junsaku. You can put your stuff down for a second. And so I've got basically the whole pose done, even though I ran out of time. It's messy, it's not perfect, but that is gesture drawing. All right, so I'm gonna try to do 45 seconds with no extra time. Junsaku, if you could choose a different pose real quick. All right, perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit start on my timer and I'm gonna do it a little bit faster this time. All right. And we're gonna start. All right, so again, circle for the head, looking back up, checking my model, adding the neck, her elbow is up, her hand is on her other hip, got her torso, like that. This arm is a little bit further down on her knee, so I'm gonna quickly add that. Are you okay? And then we're gonna add her legs. One leg is bent. Again, it's just basic shapes, so rectangles, squares, all that kind of stuff. And one leg is a little bit more straight. Again, you wanna be looking at the model and the paper. Ooh, much better that time. All right, thank you, Junsaku. Everyone give her a hand, yay! All right, so now we're gonna add, you can add details, which I'll show you in a minute, or you can keep going and do as many poses as you like. All right, now that I have my two poses, I'm gonna show you different ways you can go in and finish the art. You can either fill it in like you would when you're creating people. So I'm gonna add just a t-shirt, maybe give that some color quickly. Maybe I'll add a heart. And you can just color it like you would normally. Grab some more markers, color pencil, add some ears, add some hair. Marker's running a little bit low here. And then you can add your face if you'd like. Make it a little bit cartoony, just to help it get filled in. Then you can go in and add your pants. So that's one way you can do it if you want to have it look a little bit more realistic. You can also just go in the background. I'm gonna grab some more markers here and just kind of doodle around the figure. That can make it interesting as well. Pick a different color other than blue. So you can add some different types of lines. You've got a squiggly line, let's do zigzag, dotted line. Let's do another wavy line, this one kind of together. Let's try making maybe some circles. Maybe I'll draw a speech bubble. Maybe some hearts. Just really get kind of creative filling in your background. You can again choose different colors if you want to fill it in. If you have access to different colors, no worries if not. And then you can just keep going and fill it in. So those are two different ways you can finish your drawing to make it look a little bit more complete after you've done the gesture drawing.